Hello there, my name's Tracy Elsom and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator based in Canada, and welcome to my Papercraft with Me YouTube channel. Today I want to show you very quickly how I would colour an image from this stamp set. It's called So Much Love. It's from Stampin' Up! And there are two very large floral images there and a 3 sentiments and a little dotted image. And I wanted to show you how I would colour it, or one option for colouring it on watercolour paper. So what I've done off camera is I have got some fluid 100 watercolour paper that's sold by Stampin' Up! And I have stamped part of this image across the corner, and then I've stamped the You Made My Day sentiment in Versamark ink and then embossed it using gold embossing powder. So that's now had a chance to cool, so now I can get to work on actually colouring the particular image. So what I've done, I have pulled out the in colours for 2020-2022 from Stampin' Up! And we have Bumblebee, we have Cinnamon Cider, we have Just Jade, Magenta Madness and Misty Moonlight, and those are the 5 colours that are in the 2020-2022 in colours, so that we have them for 2 years. And then what I also have is the water painters from Stampin' Up! We have 3 different types in the set. There's a very large brush, there is a fat pointed tip, which is pointed when it's wet, and a fine tip, and I'm probably going to use the fine tip for the majority of today's demonstration. I've also got a little candle holder, it's a glass candle holder that I filled with water, and the reason I use that is because it's much harder to knock over than a cup of water, which I have been known to do. So once I've got my brush tip nice and wet, I have water in here, but I've just got my brush tip nice and wet, and I'm going to start with the Magenta Madness. So the Stampin' Up! Markers, Stampin' Right markers, are double-ended. We've got a narrow line here that points to the writing tip, and the wider mark there indicates that's the brush tip. So all I'm going to do is draw a line with this Stampin' Right marker on that petal, and then I'm going to take my water painter and just pull that colour out. As you can see, it's a water-based marker, so that colour will come out, and it fades as it comes up the petal. And then once I've done that, I'll move on, and I'm going to leave a little gap. Give that a little bit of a squeeze. There we go, get the brush nice and wet, and then pull that colour out. So I'm going to work my way around and leave a petal between, just to give them a chance to dry a little bit before I do the next one. Doesn't always work out like that, but it's one way of doing it. Again, get that squeeze. There we go. It's always a bit more difficult when you get to the edges where you don't have any embossing to hold the colour in place, but and that I'm going to pretty much just do virtually the whole thing with the marker, because that's a folded over petal, and the same thing there. So it's a really simple process. It does take some time, but it's not a difficult process. And this Magenta Madness is a very, very bright, vibrant pink. I'm kind of just doing the dark colours towards the bottom end of each petal, towards the centre, and pulling that ink out. Nearly finished the flowers. Again, just give that a little squeeze. I have a little piece of kitchen towel just off camera there, so I'm giving the water painter just a little squeeze to bring some of that water down into the nib, but I don't want it to be too wet, so I'm then using the paper towel just to absorb a little bit of that. There we go, nearly done. You get a nice, easy way of adding the colour and pulling it out to make it fade out towards the edge of each petal. And on the inside there's some little dotted areas, so I'm trying to avoid those, and maybe I'll put a different colour in there once I finally get around to doing that bit. And the reason for doing one petal at a time and not colouring all the dark areas with the markers and then going back and doing the individual petals is because the marker will set after a while, so that the sooner you get in there and start pulling that ink out, the better, really. So there we go, nearly finished. And I'm not really spending an awful lot of time worrying about where the light's coming from. It really is, for me, it's more about a feeling that you get with the petals rather than anything specific. Now also what I want to do is with these little flowers there, I'm going to do a similar thing. But these are so small, I can do it all in one go. Like that. Okay, so that's the Magenta Madness. Now I'm going to swap to the Just Jade. And again, I'm going to use the brush tip. Now this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up the vein and just pull it out a little bit, and then I've cleaned my brush in my little candle holder full of water. There we go. A bit here. Don't want to put too much on that because that really is the edge of the leaf, so you don't need to have too much. and again here just along the centre part of the leaf, and then a few of the veins, and then just pull that out with the brush. There we go again. I really like this jade green. It's a lovely colour. It comes up quite bright when you're watercolouring it like this. I'm just going to add a little bit there. Okay, so there is my flower. Now I'm going to add a little bit of Misty Moonlight just in amongst the flower area there. Just give a little bit of mood around the outside of that. There we go. And in fact, I think I might toy with the idea of using the block. I'll have a think about that. I might use the block in the end. So I'm just bringing out a little bit of blue colour. You can see I'm not drawing lines in there. I'm just kind of adding a little bit of colour there. Just I've got something I can pull out rather than having a solid line. And it's when you start doing these kind of things that you notice things like I haven't yet. I forgot to do the stem there, so I'll do that in a minute. But I'll carry on working with this. And the idea is here is just to add a little bit of shading around the floral images, just to give it a little bit of interest there, as if it was in the sky, or again just giving it. So I'm not trying to be too particular about it. Just bring it out. And then allowing the water, the faded areas, just to pull out just a little bit more, so that we don't get a solid line there. I don't want it to be a solid line. I want it to be a little bit of just an idea of that. Okay, so let's quickly go back and finish off those stems, and in fact I'm using the writing tip, which you can use. It's the same ink, obviously, just makes it a little bit easier to get into those really fine areas. And then I think I want to add a little bit more green here to this leaf, although I didn't want it too dark. I think that was a bit too light. So there we are. So there's the colouring. Hope you can see that. Really simple, all painted. So now I'll just bring in, this is the fancy tag topper punch. This is 2-inch strip of watercolour paper. So I'll just punch that, and now I have ready to make that into a bookmark. So there you go. I hope that was useful. I find painting and colouring in this way very therapeutic, and it's really simple to do. You just don't have to worry about it. I just get in there and get on with it, and it's not perfect, but it's handmade. So I hope you've enjoyed that, and if there's other ideas and things in my YouTube channel, so do have a look through. And if you want to subscribe, click the little link in the bottom below and subscribe there. Make sure you press the little bell icon so that you get notification when a new video is produced and published. And you can also find lots more tips and tricks and paper crafting inspiration on my daily blog, and you'll find that on my website at www.papercraftwithme.com. Until then, thank you very much for watching, and if you pop over to my blog today, you'll see this finished bookmark with the ribbon, which I haven't decided what I'm going to put on it yet, but I shall do that and then put some additional photos on my blog. So thank you very much again for watching, and I hope you join me again soon. Bye bye.